What's up, guys? In this video, let's talk about how I personally overcame my approach anxiety. And let me be clear, this is something that's never truly going to go away. You're always going to be a little nervous, at least, every interaction. Um, Kind of compared to something kind of like skydiving. So I have like 3,000 skydives. I did my first jump when I was 18, scared shit out of me, and I decided to conquer my fears and get my license, and it kind of just snowballed to something. And I'll tell you what, dude, even on your 3,000th skydive, you're still going to be a little nervous, okay? No matter how much you do this shit. And it's good. It's good to be nervous, okay? Because nervous can be interpreted as many ways. You can interpret it as being really excited, or you can interpret it as fear, whatever. But anyways, when it comes to cold approach, guys, the first one is always gonna be the hardest, okay? Once you get that first one out of the way, you're gonna be like, wow, okay, I didn't die. The girl didn't call the cops on me. Whatever fucking fear you have, you're gonna be like, wow, that didn't happen. That fear I had didn't fucking happen. And the second one you do is gonna be a little bit easier than the first one. And the third one you do is gonna be a little bit easier, and so on and so forth. Now it's kind of funny because a little over a year ago, when I went after trying to really conquer this fucking fear of mine, I realized you can do like 10 approaches in one day. So I was going through a phase where I didn't have much work. I was kind of in the slow season, and so I had a lot of free days for sure. And so I was like, no, let me take this time and go after this fear. So I would do as much as like 12 approaches one day, dude. Go to the store or whatever, and just really focus on this. I know it's kind of funny looking back, like kind of weird, obsessing about this, but I was really wanting to conquer this fear. Anyways, so you can do as much as like 10 approaches in one day. It's funny because the next day you'll wake up and that first one is the hardest one again. So just remember that. You got to get kind of warmed up. And then once you go to bed at night, wake up next day, you got to get warmed up again, right? So, anyways, how I conquered my social or my fear of approaching. If you start by doing semen retention, guys, I know it's a funny topic, but listen, you go a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks without busting a fucking nut, without touching yourself, I'm telling you, you're gonna stop giving a shit so much quicker, and you're gonna be the type of guy who really will want to go and talk to girls. You know, if you're fucking jacking off every day, and you're not gonna have that drive. You're not gonna have that drive in many aspects of life, but especially when it comes to talking to women, you're really not gonna have a drive because you're satisfied, right? Your body thinks, man, what's the point of going up and talking to a girl, no matter how fucking hot she is, because I'm satisfied. I just busted a nut 5 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago, an hour ago, and who fucking cares? But when you have your balls full, you start getting that drive, and not just in just cold approach. You get your drive in many aspects of life, guys. So remember that. So yeah, steam retention is probably like 70% of what helped me out, and the rest of it is just kind of realizing, man, life's short. You know, the older you get, the more you start realizing really that time goes by fucking faster and faster, and it gets kind of scary. So you're like, you know what? You think you have all the time in the world when you're in your 20s, early 20s, guys. And then it's funny because when you start hitting 25, 26, you're like, wow, okay, I'm not in my early 20s anymore. And then you're like, oh, I'm still in my 20s. And you start hitting 27, 28, you're like, oh, fuck, dude. Damn. I feel like when I hit 28 is when I really started thinking, man, time's starting to kind of go by a little bit faster now than what it used to. And I think that's what really helped me out, was like thinking like, man, life's short. I got to conquer this shit now versus later. Um, yeah, guys. And then that's luckily when I discovered steam retention. But realize too, guys, you don't need alcohol. However, at first, if you want to go and maybe drink a beer before you go and approach, just kind of relax yourself, I say go for it. But if it's when you start drinking 3 drinks or more, that's when you're like, okay, that's a crutch, you know. So try to do it without alcohol. But if you're someone that really has extreme social anxiety, um, maybe have a beer, you know, kind of take the edge off. But don't fall in the trap of needing alcohol. And another thing, guys, before you go up and talk to a fucking girl you find attractive, go up and talk to people who you don't find attractive. That an old lady, an old man, you know, people like you're just normal people. A girl you find very unattractive, and they start getting it harder and harder. You know, start increasing the level of resistance. Okay, and get yourself in a social mood. Before you go up and start talking to girls you find attractive, just start talking to people. Call up your friend on the phone, get in that social mood, and you get warmed up. Just like how if you were to run a marathon, you're not, you're gonna get warmed up first. You're not gonna just go into it. Or if you're gonna like fucking do an extreme workout, you're not gonna just go into it. You're gonna warm up a little bit. The same thing with social skills, right? But anyways, guys, don't overthink it. But also remember, seam retention is probably the biggest cheat code. Excuse me, biggest cheat code you could have as a man. I'm telling you guys, it makes it so much easier. But anyways, subscribe for more. Peace.